Sagittarius, and welcome to the Mystic Messenger Tarot. There are lots of planetary conversations going on. First and foremost, we have the three planets that are still retrograde. That's Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. And joining them on the summer solstice on the 21st will be Neptune. In addition to that, there was a new moon in Gemini. Sun is in Gemini, and Venus just went into Gemini as well. So this is kind of like the overthinking planet. Gems are creative and dreamy. They're also really inventive. They're into change, and they're the student. They like to collect information. So don't be surprised if you start collecting some more information for yourself. And this is really about change and evolution from the inside and out. Expanding our consciousness, understanding the need for discrimination as well. So a little self-discipline will help during this time. So in addition to that, Neptune is in Pisces, which is kind of calling us to the unknown. On top of that, we have Venus trine with Pluto. There's also a grand trine. I'm not sure which ones are involved in that, but that will intensify everything. But Venus is trine with Pluto, and Venus is in Taurus, so that's all about the lovey-dovey stuff. And the sensual stuff, the physical things. And Pluto is about endings, revamping your life, digging deep. And it may kind of force you to take a look at how you love or loving differently. So in addition to all those conversations that are happening, there will be a full moon in Sagittarius in your sign on the 17th of June. So there you have all the planetary happenings and conversations. Let me find my space. I like to call in all the planets, call in all the directions. What is above, so it is below. And this is a reading for Sagittarius for June 2019. I'm going to shuffle just a little bit more, Okay, I guess that wanted to jump out, the Hangman. All right, Sag, let's start at the beginning. All right, we have the world, lots of change happening. It looks like ideology might have changed. The Hangman is when you're looking at something completely differently. The Fool, take a leap of faith. Four of Cups is there. That's kind of the disappointment card. The Nine of Wands, which is upside down, so that's really fortunate. Four of Wands, Queen of Swords, Ten of Swords. Looks like some communication needs to happen. Strength is here. That can stand for actual strength or a Leo. And there's another Four of Swords. So sleep may be a little deprived. Justice on one side, the Moon on the other. Okay, Sagittarius, let's take a look at what's going on. I know you had a lot going on last month, and I had a lot of conversations or communications from you guys. So thanks. It's always good to know. It's always good to know if something resonated or didn't, so I can perfect what I'm doing. All right, the Hangman, the first card here. This is when you're looking at life completely differently. It looks like you have had quite the epiphanies over the last couple of months. You've made some changes in lifestyles. This can be your diet. It can be quitting a habit like drinking or smoking. It could be looking at codependency. It could be looking at all the things in your life that really haven't worked so far up to now. So it does look like the aha moment has happened, and you're now just trying to get the pieces in order to figure out what your next step is, it feels like. What crosses you, sweet Sagittarius, is the world here. It feels like everything is open to you. The world is one of expansion. It's a very lucky card. What you put into life, you get out of. It does feel like your awareness has broadened a little bit. It's not just your house on your street in your town, but it does look like, your ability to look at the world in a more broader view has been accomplished. So it does look like you are expanding your awareness. This may be politically, this may be traveling, but it does look like you have opened up your awareness to include a much grander scope than before. The Fool is above here, and this is kind of like a card to remind us to take a leap of faith. What are the things you've always wanted to do? It's time to, have some faith in yourself as well. This is feeling like it's time to trust your intuition, what the God of your heart is saying. And just trust your voice and your needs, your desires. That's first things off the top of your head. Trust that more than anybody else's information. But it does feel like you have really expand your awareness and expand your havingness to include other things that you didn't even really think were possible. So the next one here is the Four of Cups, and it looks like all of this was initiated by some kind of disappointment. It looks like you had a big feeling about it. It also feels like you've been able to find your gratitude around this, not only looking at the things that were not completed, things you were disappointed about, whether it was a relationship, with a partner, with your kids, with your siblings. It looks like you were disappointed in something. This could even be a job that you were going for. But it does look like in the middle of all this process of kind of a despair or downer, you were able to find all the good things in your life. You're able to find your gratitude in that, so which actually helped you facilitate this growth a lot quicker. What is in the present time is the Nine of Wands. This is kind of doing kind of cleaning house, either emotionally or actually physically. This is upside down, so it does look like you may have revisited some things that you thought you released and let go. This feels like it more has to do with people than things. So there may be a relationship that you're trying to clean up or let go of, but it does look like there are some kind of things left undone and unsaid that you're getting to. It does feel like you're at the collection stage, kind of trying to figure out how to approach this with love and kindness, but it does look like you're setting some really clear boundaries, Sag, for people who really needed it, that were kind of taking advantage of your kindness and not treating you as you should be treated. So the Four of Wands is here, and you're kind of nestled in the middle here of two fours. And this is kind of the disappointment four, and this is the jubilation, hanging out, having good times. This can be a birth, this can be a wedding, but it does feel like invitations are coming, announcements of celebrations, some kind of celebratory event. This may be even a family reunion of some kind. If you haven't got the invite, you will shortly. So it does look like the opportunity to be joyful and to connect with those that you love in kind of that frivolous way is coming up for you. So what the basis of all this is the Queen of Swords, and swords are air signs. This could be an Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. And this queen, she is really about communicating and putting out your words out into the world and having integrity. So it does feel like you may be getting in touch with your mental acuity, really getting into your creativeness. You might have, picked up a paintbrush or a pencil after many, many years and kind of reigniting your creativity. This queen is very keen and intellectual. The sword is lighting up for me, so it does feel like some communication on a grand scale or a mass scale. So you may be doing some public speaking, or you may be requested to do some kind of presentation at work. This sword is kind of lighting up for me for communication. So that is the basis. We have the 10 of Swords here. The 10 is right across all this Hangman and the 4 of Wands. This feels like a betrayal that you are still reeling from, but you're just beginning to heal. This does feel like something from the past. It does feel like it may have involved your heart. This could have been a lover that didn't work out. This could be a marriage that didn't work out, or just redoing a relationship that has been kind of tentative, but it does feel like you were betrayed on some level, either theft or lies, or some kind of betrayal. It could even been a sexual betrayal, but it looks like from this pain you've been able to grow. Even though it was really nasty when it was happening, this does feel like it's something out of your awareness now, but it is something that you are healing from. And it does look like the last piece of the puzzle, which you're looking at here, the last piece of the puzzle, so you can start healing yourself. Well, finish healing yourself, because it does feel like you've been really looking at things honestly, really releasing things that no longer serve you, including friendships, relationships, houses, jobs. Looks like you've been very honest and kind of ruthless at having to release some of this stuff, but it looks like it was something long overdue to upgrade yourself and to release things that no longer work for you. The Strength card is here. This can indicate a Leo, if there is a Leo in all of this. But basically, the Strength card is exactly what it says. It's time to pull up your big girl britches or big boy britches and face things head on. It looks like you may have been avoiding some things for a while, but now you're really gung-ho and jumping right in there. You're really ready to start the motion, start changing things, and you're ready to kind of heal this the situation that's been kind of looming over your head. And it does feel like it has happened in the past six months prior, no earlier than 6 months ago. Could even been a couple years ago. But it looks like you're healing yourself, you're gathering your strength, you're getting more and more certain of who you are. Although there's another 4 here, and the 4 of Swords kind of indicates you may be overthinking a bit. You may have some issues sleeping. This may have even affected your creature comforts like eating. So you may be eating to feel good, or you may be not eating at all. But it does look like your sleep is a bit affected. So you may be having nightmares, or just dreams on how to finish resolving this issue. But it does look like your sleep is being affected mildly during this time. What is on the left side of this is the moon. These are all the intrinsic things, the things that are probably coming out in your sleep space, because if we suppress things in our waking state, they come out in the ethereal state. Our subconscious tries to tell us what to do and how to do it. So it does look like justice is on one side, the moon is on the other, so it does look like it's time for that big conversation to happen, some boundaries set, maybe finances settled. But it does look like you've been thinking about this for a really long time, so the stuff from the inside needs to come to the outside. This also can stand for that creative essence that's been bubbling up in you too. Either the writer, the dancer, getting in touch with those passions that have been long overdue to be tapped into. Justice card right here. This is righting a wrong. It doesn't necessarily mean it's legal, although many of you may be going through legal things. This may have to do with a divorce or a separation. So the Justice card is here to remind you everything will be in balance soon if it's not here already. So that is your general reading, sweet Sagittarius, for the month of June. I'm going to throw a couple of these Ethereal Vision cards. These are new to me, and they're kind of one-word cards. So trust in the niglet. I don't know what that is. Niggling, feeling, trying to tell you. So trust in your intuition. We're going to look at it that way. And it's interesting, this lavender color is lighting up for me too. So trust in that ethereal body of yours. Trust in the God of your heart, and whatever comes to you at the top of your head. You have all the information you need inside of you, Sagittarius. You just need to go and look for it and trust what you hear. Okay, these are a little thick, so I'm not sure. Protection, call back your power. cut the cords and soul retrieval. So this is kind of an extension of this. Yes, time to cut the cords, release yourself from any binding contracts that don't serve you anymore, any emotional contracts that don't serve you more, whether it's a lover, a friend, a family member who is really toxic. So now it's time to protect yourself and to start moving forward towards your lovely creative gifts. All right, Sagittarius, there's another one. Birthing a new age. So yes, you are coming into a new birthing space, kind of birthing yourself into a new entity. That's what the moon is about, bringing what's inside to the forefront, to the awareness space. All right, sweet Sages, that is your reading for the month of June. If you like what you heard, please like, share, subscribe. I always am open to all the communications, and you guys were very verbal last month, so thank you so much for letting me know what was on your mind. And in the meantime, live life gently, but with fire. Namaste.